Happy New Year! Happy 2024. It's quite useful, I suppose, that Monday is the first day of the year, the day that I release the Education Business podcast. And also, it's the start of the week, isn't it? So, definitely sets us off on a good trajectory to make things happen this year. By this point, I hope that you have set yourself some goals or intentions, things that you are going to get done this year. I wonder whether you did actually reflect on last year's goals. So I had a quick look. There were some that I did not complete, some that I did complete, and maybe some that I was halfway that I've had to re-look at and come back to and rethink how I'm going to move those goals or those intentions forward. Goals are one thing, but sometimes we don't think about who we need to become to achieve those goals, for those goals to become successful or come to fruition. And you may have heard that before, but let's delve into it and you might get some new insights. So I shared on Instagram back in November or December, I think, a reel, and it was me, and I had this exercise book and I was peeking over the top of it. And it said something like, point of view, wanting to grow your education business but not wanting to tell anyone about it. Creating content for Education Business Club has been like a trip down memory lane. I've said that before when I've created content for the podcast. But because I feel like I am in startup mode with Education Business Club, it has been a really interesting reminder of what things were like when we started Classroom Secrets for the first 4 or 5 years, to be honest. And when I started Classroom Secrets, I was scared to tell people about it. And guess what? At Education Business Club, there is a part of me that feels a little bit scared to tell people about it because I don't want to be rejected. I've created this club and I really want people to sign up. I know that there's so much value in there, but there's this part of me that thinks, oh gosh, how should I tell people? How do I downplay that as much as possible? So if they reject me, if they reject the club, if they reject the offering, then I can say, well, I downplayed it anyway. Like, this is a normal thing. The difference is I've got that awareness, and so I have to think, okay, who do I need to become for that not to happen, and step out anyway. So if you have a goal that you want to sell to 1,000 teachers in 2024, but you still feel like you don't want to share your business because you're scared of being judged, you're scared of being rejected, and you don't change who you are, you're never going to be successful. You're never going to hit that goal because you've got to move through that and move through that discomfort. And what I will say is I still feel it now. I just don't feel it as much, and I take action anyway. I feel the fear and I do it anyway. So what kind of person do you need to become? In some ways, probably more of a salesy person, if that was your goal. Same for me. Same for me with Education Business Club. I need to be a bit more salesy. Pushy, but more than I am, because I'm very, I wouldn't say laid back, but when it comes to telling somebody about my thing, I'm not pushy at all. I kind of lay it on the table and say, well, if you want it, it's yours. But other people definitely get the sale because they push it more. Whether that's right for the customer or not, I'm not so sure. But I need to change. I need to change that this year to be able to hit some of the targets that I've got. And you're probably in the same position. If you've got targets, especially around selling, you're going to need to edge forward towards being like somebody who does achieve those kind of targets. Another great example, last year I had a goal, but I started it a little bit earlier. And I wanted to connect with more entrepreneurs who were at my level of experience in business, because that can be quite a tricky thing, especially when you're in the middle like I am. So you tend to find that people who have created, 8 figures, they're all interconnected, whereas I'm in the middle. I'm the 7 figures on the way to 8 figures. And that can be quite tricky. I decided I wanted to meet more entrepreneurs and build relationships with them who were in a similar boat to me. I wanted to be speaking to people who had a team, who had had a team for quite a while and they were employed, and also face some of the same challenges as us, had the same kind of revenue running through the business, because they're the people who have this deep understanding of where you're at. I had to become a person who doesn't mind traveling to London every month. And I would say I do not find that particularly fun. I don't particularly enjoy traveling. Train is better than the car, to be honest. I find it quite uncomfortable. I find it extremely boring. It's a 7 to 8 hour round trip every month because I go on the same day there and back. I don't want to have to stay over. I suppose what I'm trying to point out here is sometimes to get the thing that you know that you need, you have to do the thing you don't want to do. You have to step out and do it anyway. So the novelty of going to London has definitely worn off for me. It's been over a year now that I've been going. And sometimes in the run-up, I just think, oh gosh, I don't want to do that 8 hour round trip. But I always do find that I pick up some kind of insight. I do pick up some kind of insight. And another thing that I'm going to be doing in the new year is making sure that I give myself multiple reasons to be in London. So I'm going to extend that day and make sure that I've got some coffee dates available as well. So if you do live in London, you might want to reach out to me on Instagram. So you can do Education Business Club or Claire Riley Teacher Entrepreneur, because I will have slots available in the mornings on the days that I'm going to London, because I'm trying to make the most of it. So I'm trying to be this different person, this person who does travel to London and doesn't mind it, even though you can tell by my accent, I am such a northern country girl. We have to change. We have to change for the things that we want. Not drastically, but we have to be willing. So it's all about then who we need to become to make those intentions or those goals a reality. So if you think about those intentions or goals, what kind of person hits those goals or targets? Maybe you want to increase your monthly revenue by 100%. Well, how do people who are bringing in that kind of revenue behave? Do you know any people like that? Can you connect with people like that? And what are their habits? What do they do day in, day out? What do they think about? What do they focus on? Who do you need to become to meet that goal? Because it's really easy for us to put out a really lofty goal and go, yeah, I'm going to do this. But we have to change and we have to be somebody different along the way. Who is it that you need to meet in order to make these goals or intentions a reality in your life? If you did have a goal to increase your revenue by 100%, how could people help you do that? Is it that if you formed a partnership with somebody specific that you've got in mind who you want to meet, that could easily increase your revenue by 100%, rather than thinking about how you reach out to, 1,000 more teachers or 1,000 more parents or 1,000 more schools? Is there a different way to do it by meeting the right people? And what do you need to learn? Do you need to learn more about marketing, SEO, cash flow, building a team, managing that team, hiring people? And are you clear about where you can actually learn that? And when do you need to learn it by in order for that to be a goal that you actually achieve? There's no point in setting yourself a goal to increase your resource output by 300% for the entire year and then not hiring anyone until December, or not finding out how to hire anyone until August. That's all too late, isn't it? So what do you need to learn? Sometimes I think we go into things and we don't try and do the learning first. I'm definitely guilty of this. I do try and learn on the go though, but we do need to think, what do I need to learn? And if I did learn that first, would I be able to take more insights so that I didn't have to go and correct as many things later? Nobody's saying that you won't have to correct things. That's always one of my bugbears when people say, here's this blueprint, you can follow it exactly. It's not a thing. Honestly, it's not a thing. And I have done some of those courses afterwards, I suppose, to help me with setting up Education Business Club. And the amount of things that were missed out or left people hanging, just unacceptable, really, because it promised to be a blueprint. And it's not the only course like that, the one that I'm talking about, which I won't mention. So I'm not looking for a blueprint anyway. I'm looking for the insights of things, how I can move forward. But I'm already thinking about, what do I need to learn? One of the things I feel like I need to learn in this next coming year is more about negotiation for some of the things that I want to do in the future. I don't want to be in a place where I need those negotiation skills and I haven't done any of the work yet. So I do want you to have a think about that. Who do you need to become? Who do you need to meet? And what do you need to learn? You know that I am always really honest with you. I tell you all sorts of things. So here are mine. This is what I've been thinking about. I need to be the kind of person who up levels in some of the areas that I've been neglecting. That was a conversation that Ed and I had back in December. There are some areas of life that we've really improved, but other areas of life where we haven't. And we really want to up that in 2024. And what's helpful is that we can do that together. And it's technically the same areas, so that's helpful. We can encourage each other and we can have a go at each other when we haven't done it, which we never do really. But yeah, we can move through it together. I need to learn more about selling events, because events is a new thing for me, an Education Business Club. And also learn more about selling learning content, B2B, because my experience is in B2C. Obviously, things change as time moves on. But even though I have so much experience in business, that doesn't mean to say I don't want to keep learning. Now I'll listen to a podcast episode or I'll buy a training knowing that I'm not going to learn everything from scratch because I know quite a lot of it. For me, it's all about these little insights and little things that I pick up now. So that's something that I need to learn. I need to learn more about selling the learning content I've created in the Education Business Club membership and be able to sell it better. And I need to meet more people to enable me to achieve the big dreams that I've got. I need to be more known. And I've already started the ball rolling on that. I know a number of you have booked in meetings with me. 2024 is a big year for me in terms of networking, reaching out to people that I've never met before, maybe I've chatted to, reaching out to people beyond that and beyond that. Because one of my goals is to become the go-to person for people trying to start, grow and scale an education business. So if you can help me with that in any way, then please do. Reach out to me, please do. But I have to become this person who wants to do that. I was listening to a podcast this morning and somebody said that they're an extroverted introvert. That is definitely me. So in certain situations, I can be like, woohoo, let's do this, let's do that, let's do the other. But I'm also socially awkward. See me on the mum's WhatsApp group and, I just don't want to be there. I find it really overwhelming. There's far too many messages. They'll plan a night out. I am not going. It's not me. I'll put myself in those situations if I need to, particularly in business, if I feel like that's going to be useful to me in the long term or useful for the business. But I don't particularly enjoy those things. I just do them and I know how to pull out the extrovert. So I need to become a person who keeps pushing forward on that, even though I find it difficult. And so that's what I'm working on. So take a look at those 2024 goals, intentions, targets, whatever you want to call them, and have a think today, if you haven't already. Who do you need to become to achieve those goals? What do you need to learn? And who do you need to meet?